Hello YouTubers, this is Scott. I'm at the Loves in Ottawa, Kansas. I'm gonna do an analysis on the backing maneuver of the Sunrise Enterprise driver who just backed into the spot next to me. Now you're gonna see that he had a bad setup and a bad backing, but he did goal and he got in there safely without hitting me or the guy on his blind side. However, there's lots of room here. He made this backing a lot more difficult than was necessary. Right here at the point where the front of his tractor meets the front of the driver's side of my tractor is when he should be starting his right turn for his setup. But as you see, he didn't start his setup until he was already near the driver's end of the truck to my left. And as you see, the end result of that is he looks like he's pretty well set up for my spot instead of the one he's trying to go for. Now as he's coming back, you see he's coming in. This is a bad angle. His tandems are forward. He's got a lot of trailer swing. As he's coming by, he's got to give his tandems a chance to get around the corner of my tractor in order to clear. But while he's doing that, the angle that the trailer is sitting at is going to put the blindside corner of his trailer at high risk of hitting the driver on his blindside. Best practice is just don't do that. If you come in at this kind of an angle, it's because you're pointing the trailer into the front of the hole when you should be pointing it out in front of the hole about at least a good 10 feet. There's an easy solution to that by doing what I call a 2-point serpentine maneuver, which is a forward hard left till you're off at an angle from the lane, and then back to the hard right. And that'll give the trailer a chance to point out in front of the hole instead of into it. It'll allow the trailer to rotate into the hole at a much nicer angle, and much less risk of hitting anybody next to you. Now it's good to see that this guy did goal, and it does look like he came really close to hitting me as I was sitting here, but as you can see, there was enough room for him to walk between his trailer and mine without any difficulty. So it actually looks closer from the camera's view than it really is. As long as you're not hitting the person, I mean, I don't make a big deal out of this. Now, it looks to me like he has a pretty good idea of how to control the trailer with backing. However, this doesn't mean that he's any good with setup, or as I call it, avoiding forced bad setups. Yeah, when you have a bad setup, a very common thing that happens is, a driver will just try to force it in and just keep going backward with it, even though they're already in a bad position. Once the first second you realize you have something bad, you're almost always better off pulling forward and fixing your setup somehow and coming back at it from a different setup. Now he does make it in here safely, and you can see I can tell by his 4x4 maneuvers and the way he backs in at the end. This driver probably has some good experience, or has a really good idea how to control the trailer. You see, he did a hard right forward, and a little bit sloppy there on the technique, but it's not the way they teach in the school. Now when he started coming backward, normally you want to go max left before you start moving the truck back at all, but he's experienced, I can tell. I wouldn't worry about that. But as you see, he used a pretty standard 4x4 technique to square himself back up with his trailer, and then coming back into the hole, he obviously has a lot of confidence in his ability to control the trailer. Just be careful. Like I say, don't try to force it. That's all I have for now. Thanks for watching, and